Check everything. Looks good. I want to check and make sure I'm on. Yep, we're on.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Hey, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Captive Desk. I wanted to do a little thank you stream for getting me to 100 subscribers, and I'm over that now. It's 109 subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody. And I'm also joined with James Apperson, one of my favorite YouTubers.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who James Apperson is, you need to go subscribe and check out his channel. And I put his link below, along with other people that I'm going to mention. So let's kick it off. First of all, since James is here, I wanted to thank James. James also did a video with me. The story behind it was I wanted him to critique when I went on Hamza's Den. And he had a lot of kind words for me, even though I asked him to not hold any punches.
Oh, I wasn't even being charitable. I was trying to find something to be critical of, but I couldn't find anything. I was like, God damn it.
Well, I admit I struggled a little bit, and I'm still getting over the little stage fright and everything. You get on camera and you're worried about not making a fool out of yourself or whatever. So I tried real careful on what I said to not get myself in too deep or anything, because I know these guys got their stick laid down, and you try to get into it with them, and it's like Jay said about getting into it with Ken Hovind. You're not going to win. They got their stick down, and so if you don't got one too, don't bother.
Right. So look at the trees. Also today is past the 100 mark and is celebrating that along with you.
All right, woohoo to the trees!
Yeah.
Everybody go check out Trees too. Yeah, that's good for him. All right. And I've got some notes. Well,
awesome.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're actually streaming right now or what they're doing over at Trees. You guys simultaneously we're going to celebrate. So if you guys wanted to share a stream together, you could. I don't know if you want to or not, but I'm here either way, guys. And just so you know, I'm not playing favorites, and I'm just here, and I didn't even know that YouTube that Look at the Trees had something going today until after we were already getting ready for this. So I love all you guys.
I didn't know either until James told me so. But yeah, we support the trees. Yes. And first of all, I got to show off my mug. I got a Captive Desk mug for Christmas. I know some of you have seen it, but I want to show it off. Get a good shot there.
Nice.
My wife got me that, and I was so surprised. I had no clue or anything, and man, it's just awesome. I got my own mug, Captive Desk mug. So
yeah. Well, shit. Macy wouldn't get married just so I could get a mug before I get divorced.
That's right. That's right. And speaking of, I wanted to thank my wife for all her help and support and listening to me do my read-throughs and everything, and help me. Well, maybe you should change this a little bit and that and everything. So thank you to Mrs. Desk. And I also wanted to thank my son, Alec, who helped me do the Halloween video. He was a good sport.
Oh, yeah, that was a great video. I actually fell asleep listening to you reading that stuff. I think it was freaking awesome.
And that's a compliment.
In a good way. I was all cuddled up in bed and had my headphones on, and I was like just feeling it, man. It was wonderful.
And he's also my IT help too. He's got an IT degree, so if I get stuck on something, he comes over and rattles off some keys on the keyboard. He says, "There you go," and I say, "Thank you." So, thank you very much, Alec. Appreciate it. And I also wanted to thank. When I was writing up some scripts, I thought, I'm not going to ask a friendly audience. So I have some Facebook friends we butt heads on a lot of different issues, you know, and it's all good. It doesn't get personal or anything, you know. We're
Mhm.
grown ups. But I thought, well, I would ask some of them to critique some of my scripts. So I asked Brett, who is a writer. He actually is a what would you call it? I don't want to insult the man or anything. A published author, I guess you would call it, or you know, I mean, he does actual writing in a magazine or something like that. So
Right.
he looked at one of my scripts, and again, I figured, you know, I asked him, "Hey, be brutal," you know, and he actually had kind words for me too. And you know, he does writing for a living, and he gave me a lot of tips, you know, and everything. And you know, I took some of them. I still wanted to write it myself, but I took his advice. You know what I mean? So thanks to Brett. And there was another script, and I did the same thing with Mark, who's also on Facebook. We butt heads often on a lot of issues, and so I figured again, well, I'll ask Mark to take a look. And he again had some kind words, and he was very helpful. He offered me a few tips. He's fairly well versed in Judaism and the Hebrew side of the Old Testament and everything. So, Mark, thanks for your help. And I wanted to thank Pete, who's also on Facebook. Pete said, you need to emote a little bit more. So in my last video, I tried to emote a little more. I like I said, you know, I'm still working over a little bit of the camera stage fright, whatever you want to call it, you know. So I said, okay, I'm going to try. So I really tried in the last one to show some emotion and, you know, emote. So I hope Pete appreciates it, and I appreciate his input and his critique. It's always well appreciated. You know, I'll take it. You know, if I messed up something or I said something wrong, or if anything could, you know, how I say things improve anything, please let me know. I'm not thin-skinned, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let me know too, because then I can let you know how you're wrong. Otherwise, we just can't have that conversation.
all right, fair enough. And then again with James, I wanted to thank James because, like I say, James has offered a lot of help and advice. I really appreciate it. What can I say? James is a great guy, and I really appreciated all his help and advice and our chats and everything else. What can I say? You're a good guy, James, and I appreciate our friendship.
Well, I appreciate you too. I appreciate our friendship. I have a lot of fun talking with you, and I find you a very relatable, likable person, which I don't say about a whole lot of people. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
I like to tell people I like people, but I have my limits.
Sure. Yeah, I've been reaching my limits lately, so I can relate to that. In fact, every time, because I got been bumping heads with so many people lately, and then whenever they come back around and they're cool with me, I'm like, whew. Because you know, some people in this community are like really durable. Like you can annoy them and irritate them and bump heads at them, and they'll still come back next week, right? And there are other people where you even look at them sideways and they're like, "I'm canceling you," and it just depends on the people, right? But I've been really impressed with this community and how durable most of us are and forgiving, and you know, we can have disagreements, but we're still part of the community together.
Right. And I wanted to take a look at the chat real quick and say hey to AR. Appreciate your support. Look at the trees is in the chat. Congratulations on hitting 100 subs. Good job, man. Love your videos.
Nice.
Deconverted Man is in the chat. Deconverted Man inspired my I Am a Believer video because he did one, and I said, you know, I was thinking about that, so I went ahead and did it. So, and everybody check out Deconverted Man's channel too. His link's going to be in the description. It should show up in the description.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mike from Answers in Atheism. Mike's another one that's going to be mentioned here on my list for all his help. Appreciate it, Mike. Lena. Hello, Lena. Thanks for showing up. Scott Duke. Scott Duke is also on my list here for her thank yous, giving me shout outs and everything. Appreciate your friendship, sir.
Yeah.
And Colossia. Is that how you say it?
I would think so.
I'm probably messing it up, but thank you very much for being here. Okay, let me slip back to my list here, make sure. Steve McRae. Everybody I think knows who Steve McRae is. When I wrote my atheist script, I went to who else but Steve McRae, right? And Steve McRae, he's a busy guy. He's took time out and helped me out. Again, gave me a few critiques and some tips. Really appreciate his time. Again, he's a busy man, and he took time out to help me. I'm just, beginning guy on YouTube and everything, and I appreciate it, Steve. Good guy. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then, again, with the shout outs and whatnot, I wanted to thank Bree. Bree's giving me shout outs. Everybody, I think, knows who Bree is over at Hiveside. All these people I'm going to mention that I could think of, I put their links in the description, so go check out their channels. I want to thank Gur from Gur Streams, giving me a lot of shout outs, a lot of support. And, who doesn't love Gur, right?
Everybody loves Gur.
You need just a lighthearted video or a stream or whatever, going on. And, hey, there's Gur, put a little chuckle on everything. So,
right. Gur really appreciates those compliments, too, if you get a chance to throw some at him.
Your compliments will get up on the screen if you compliment him.
He'll even take the occasional backhanded compliment if you want to sneak those in.
Sure. We've had a few back and forth. It's all good. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to thank Jay at Pocket Locker again for all the shout outs and everything. And with his Discord and everything, I can post my videos over there and everything. So thank you very much, Jay. Hey, and speaking of, there's Bree in the chat. Hello, Bree. If you missed it, I was just thanking you. Thanks for the shout outs and everything. Much love. I appreciate it. And Scott Duke.
Go ahead.
Can't leave out Scott Duke. Scott Duke, always there with Mike, and Scott too, giving me shout outs and support and everything. Scott's another great guy. Appreciate him.
Yeah.
And Deconverted Man, I think I mentioned, but hey, Deconverted Man, thanks. He's supportive. Shared my video. Appreciate you. And again, James Apperson, and his link is below too.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, we've each had our own niche. Absolutely.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Now, let's see. I want to make sure I wrote it. I tried to write everybody down. If I forgot anybody, I'm really sorry. I really tried to think everybody's to thank. And if I did miss somebody, I appreciate you too. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, and then I wanted to thank for people that did videos with me. James, of course, I already mentioned. James did a video with me critiquing my Hamza's Den encounter. And I appreciate you doing the stream with me, James. I want to thank Adam for doing his Holy Land video with me. Adam actually works as a scientist in Israel, and it's real interesting, his perspective on that. When you're in the Holy Land, they're doing science when they go in the laboratory. They're not having church service regardless of a very religious area. So a scientist can be religious. A scientist can go in the lab and do good science. Doesn't matter you're religious or not. That's not an issue of doing good science.
Right.
And I want to thank Brian. I think Brian was my first video. He did the video on miracles, and that was a kind of a hangover from a discussion we were having with the discussion we had on with Rebecca's chat, and that's also where I met Mike too from Answers in Atheism. So thank you, Brian, for doing the miracles video with me. And Brian has his own channel too. And I was trying to remember, and I didn't have the time to find it, but when I find it, I will put the link. I will add the link in the description. He does have a channel. So sorry, Brian, I just kind of ran out of time, but I will find it and link you. And I want to thank Andrew Cumming. I think everybody knows who Andrew is. Mm-hmm. He also did a video with me. Andrew, great guy, smart guy. Yeah. Love hearing his input and everything, and I appreciate him doing a video with me. And again, thank you to my son Alec for doing a video with me. We did the Halloween video. He was a good sport. I thought we'd just, do something for fun. It was just a fun video. And, I drug him away from his computer and his video games. And let's say he was a good sport. So appreciate you, boy. And all your help with your IT help and everything. He does. He helps me out a lot when I get stuck. But he comes in, he rattles off some keys and fixes me up. So I really appreciate him too. And then I know some of you don't want to hear it, but I want to thank Rebecca from Bread of Life. Being on Rebecca's channel and being in the group thing we did in private with Mike and Brian and Lance, who you might know, everybody might know as LB. He also has a channel now too. I think it's Lance Independent or something like that. Go check out Lance too. But it kind of got me inspired to get my channel going. And again, I met Brian through there, did my first video. And so in a roundabout way, thank you, Rebecca, for kind of getting my channel started. And Rebecca's Bread of Life, for anybody that doesn't know, and I linked her description too. And I think that's everybody in my notes.
Well, you forgot about Jesus.
Oh, no, you know what I forgot? I forgot. All hail Bigfoot.
All hail Bigfoot.
That's what I forgot. And Gur's in the chat. Hey, Gur. If you missed it, I was giving you a shout out. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I did link you in the description below. And I linked Bree in the description below. And I think I got everybody in the description below. Appreciate all of you for all the shout outs and everything. To also what I wanted to say, I got over 100 subscribers. And it's thanks a lot to all these people that I mentioned. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And woohoo! I'm legit now. I've got over 100 subscribers.
Yeah, you got a couple extra ones since we started the stream, actually.
All right.
Nice. Thank you guys for all for being such a wonderful community.
111.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just awesome. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, I've got plans for a lot of different videos, and anybody that does videos knows it's a lot harder than it looks. Just to throw together some graphics and start doing some editing and just simple things, it's a lot of work.
That's why I haven't done it yet. Not even once.
Everybody out there, that puts in a lot of time in editing and graphics and everything, appreciate them a lot more when you watch their videos, because they do put in a lot of work. So what I'm basically doing, I didn't know anything, so I'm just trying to add a few things each time as I go, trying to learn more of the different softwares they have and everything, and just try to little improvements each time. and that's my plan as far as doing it. And I like doing everything myself, so I've learned a lot, and keeping the old noodle working, good exercise for the brain. So what's new with you, James? You've been busy lately.
Yeah, so this morning I did a stream with Mike and Scott, and we were talking about the soul guy that Rebecca had on her channel here like several days ago. And it was a couple hours worth of nonsense. And whenever you do a response video, it takes longer than the video you're responding to because you're stopping to pause it, you're talking about it, then you unpause it. And so who knows how many parts it's going to take to get through it all. But there was just so much that we just got tired. We're like, yeah, because we're just three old guys, right? Like, we're just three old guys. We just get tired easy. So we did what we could today. And we had some fun with it. I won't even deny that. We did have fun with it, even though I was really tired today. So, and then I jumped around in the community. There's been some great stuff going on. Maya had a discussion about free will, and Jake had the blackout, and T-Jump had a kindergarten philosophy for Christians, and actually jumped in there for a few minutes, and they had a good discussion going where they're explaining reality to a fundy. But the fundy always comes back with, but my book says my book is true. And it must be because Magic Man and Sky wrote it. What the fuck are we even doing with those people? Like, you can't educate them. So, I don't know. Like, I just jump around a lot today. That's all I've been doing because I'm unfocused. And so I stop in, give everybody a group hug, listen until I forget why I'm there, and then I leave and go somewhere else. Is what I do today. So, StreamYard. Dave dropping the link down there. That's awesome. So,
yeah, drop the link there if anybody wants to pop on. We're just, I don't really have a topic or anything. I just told James I wanted to thank everybody, and we're just on here just having a little chit chat. So if anybody has anything they want to chit chat about, you can pop on.
So apparently Gurr gets Nookie. He gets Nookie payments for his streams, and
that's what I heard.
Of that. I haven't had to get that in years, so I'm doing something wrong. I'm damn sure. So,
yeah, I heard he was living in sin. So,
like, if I'm too tired to go out there and get laid, but I kind of want to get laid, does that make me involuntarily celibate? Is that how that works? And am I an incel and didn't realize it? Because I would just order out like pizza, but apparently that's not a thing we can do here in Indiana. So I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get laid? Oh, no, they got apps for that, right? But
yeah,
I've never tried them.
What's the problem? You just get on the app and they give you 50 different dates, right? Your perfect match.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. I could try that. I could mention that I know you. That might get me some extra credit there, social cred.
Hello, Hillary's. Yeah, hello, Hillary's emails.
Yeah. Listening while cooking lunch. Hillary's emails is one of those really brilliant people that you don't notice at first because they're usually just in chat saying hi, right? But once you actually share some screen time with them, then you realize, holy shit, this person's actually like I had to work to keep up with them, really.
Yeah, it was good to see him on the stream that one day.
Yeah, we've got so many brilliant people. Now, Bree's content is top notch, for example. So is Leo's and other people's. But the problem for me is Bree is so gosh damn smart. It's like they know so much, and so their conversations are so above me. Like I'm peeking over the fence like Wilson next door to Tim the Toolman Taylor. I'm peeking over the fence saying, "Ho ho, neighbor," right? And I can't. Like the conversations are so cerebral and so informed and so intricate, and I'm like, man, I should have stayed in school. Man, I should have. Like, I can't keep up with it. So hello, I love it. But they're very, very smart.
Congratulations, Dave. So was the task to climb to 100 as hard for you as it was for me? Did it just like take forever? It was like,
let's see, it took about 9 months, I think, but it was steady. Yeah. Each time I did a video, I crept up a little bit. So my stats in YouTube show a steady uphill climb. So
Yeah, Standing for Truth was giving me shit. He said I'd never see 100 subs, and when I was at like 55 or 57, and it was just, and I thought he was right. I don't know, and now I've stalled out at 597 forever.
Wow.
I've been there for months and months and months, and it's pretty
Yeah.
quick. But but your stuff. I mean, Chris, you edit your stuff, and it's clever, and I love your interleave things, and you deserve it.
well, thanks. I've been trying to find my own little niche. So
Yeah, posers like me and James don't deserve anything like this. Don't you agree, James?
Narf. It's whatever.
Well,
I mean,
maybe I can speak for myself, maybe.
I mean, I just open. I open the bar when nobody else is open, right?
Yeah.
And I talk about what the hell ever. And if people want to make suggestions, comments, feedbacks, whatever, we can just run with it. But
Well,
for me, that's all it is.
You're like an AM radio station,
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
have to know it's
Or an
there, and you have
FM.
to be bored.
FM radio station. At 2 a.m. Yeah,
Yeah, an FM at 2 a.m. or an AM
Yeah,
during the middle of the day, depending. But
that's your niche.
that is pretty much it, right? If you know
But-
about me and you got nothing else on, you'll tune in just to.
Yeah, but
keep
Dave,
it
you do actual content, which really impresses me. I don't know how the hell
Yeah.
anybody has the patience to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And how do you find all the stuff that to clip in and all that? I don't know. It's amazing. Anyway, you'll do well. So
thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm totally amateur and just learning my way around DaVinci. It takes a lot of work.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so guys like BS and Nerdy and so many others, and Apologia and everybody that does all those graphics and everything, it's like, yeah, they do a lot of work.
Mhm.
So
Well, Apologia, I think he was a movie producer, right? So he like had
Yeah,
background. So,
yeah, he some kind of computer graphics or something. Yeah, he actually worked on a Star Wars movie and everything.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah,
You
he's
wanna
actually
get
even
in?
done- Yeah.
you want to get in good with him. I showed him my mug the one day here with Darth Vader on it, and he was, you win the mug of the day. So yeah,
Oh, good.
Oh, that's awesome.
you get in
That's
good with Paul mentioning Star Wars.
How about my Hello Kitty mug?
Shannon
Would that do
Q, not so much. I think she's tired of hearing about Star Wars.
Mm.
Yep.
She has a fiery, passionate soul. She does.
But like I
Yeah.
said, Paul, I kind of took Paula Gia's advice that, like I was telling James before we started, my original idea was to be all George Carlin on my channel and just rip people. But then I thought Paula Gia made good points that if you do that and if you cuss and swear a lot and all those nobody on the other side's ever going to listen to you. So I've been trying to listen and just ask questions and not, cuss and swear, at least, something may slip or something, but so that, maybe somebody on the other side would actually watch one of my videos. So,
Oh, gotcha. Noted. I'll try not to swear. I mean, I swear sometimes on my channel, but there's a couple of words we don't say anymore. But for the most part, I don't care.
Well, in Minnesota, that's our language. I mean, you have to. I'd have to learn a brand new language, and I just can't. My mom swore
Right.
like a sailor. My mom used to call us. Oh, do you mind me swearing on your channel, Dave?
no, it's all right. I'm not,
Okay, my mom's the name for us.
this is just for fun. I just wanted to come on, thank everybody, and hey, whatever you want to say, it's good.
I feel bad even repeating what my mom used to call us kids. It was so bad. It was just, and we were just like little toddlers, We're like, oh, that's what she calls us. So, I mean, it was like over the top. But anyway, I grew up, and then I went to work at an Italian bakery when I was 16, and my language just went through the roof as far as cursing, right? Because it was just what you did there. It's just like, yeah, fucking donuts.
Yeah.
I worked in a lot of shops, and you know, in a lot of the shops, it's you know, I don't want to be non-PC or anything, but it's man talk. You know what I mean? There's a lot of,
Yeah.
you know, when guys are alone, we give each other a hard time, and we say a lot of things you shouldn't say in mixed company.
Well, the bakery was dominated by women, and man, the language there was just was as bad as any man shop. I'll tell you, it was something else.
Well, then I went to go do a job in a shop, and I was forewarned. Hey, look, it's a Christian shop, okay? So when you go in, you know, kind of watch it. You know, it's like gotcha. You know, so
yeah.
And like I said, I can behave. I mean, it's a customer. You know what I mean? I'm not there to, you know, say,
Yeah.
oh, I don't believe in your God or nothing like that. I'm there to do a job, and you pay me. So that was the end of that.
Yep.
And that's something that's, you know, I'm not. I try to tell people I'm not hoping to change the world overnight. I know that in reality, you got to have baby steps. And I tried to tell Jay at the end of the stream he had yesterday, I think, to, you know, hey, things are moving forward, even though sometimes you think, well, you know, it seems like nothing's happening, but it is. So, you know, everybody's just got to hang in there. And you know, I could tell them the nuns are the fastest growing group in the world. So every day somebody else is maybe seeing one of our videos, or bigger, more fancier sites like Gur out there, you know. It's got those millions of views there, getting all famous on Paulogia and everything. You know, Aaron Ra talks about, you know, he hears from people, and that, you know, they thank him and everything. So he's got to keep the faith, so to speak, that somebody will see, if not our videos, at least they're seeing the bigger names videos out there. Hello, Big Mad Mama. Big Bad Mama.
So at Faithless Forum, Nick Sauter, Sauter, is that how you say it? Sauter? He was just on Maya's channel. He sat me down and spent about a half an hour talking to me about a YouTube channel, and the some of the advice he had was to sit down and figure out, what do you want to do on YouTube, right? And I'm still trying to figure that out. But this morning it occurred to me that I was sitting in front of my TV screaming into the void, you know, because I have an opinion, and, you know, and I have what I consider a lifetime of education and wisdom that I built up, and I'm screaming into the void, and YouTube is a way to make the void, you know, put some people out in the void. So now I'm screaming into my microphone or into YouTube, and it's the same kind of screaming. But I think that makes me feel good, just being able to know that it's being recorded, that some people are listening, one person is listening, and that just feels kind of good. I don't know why. Screaming into the void is a frustrating, lonely kind of existence, right?
Right.
And like, I was doing that when I was watching the early Standing for Truth stuff, and Atheist Community of Austin shows and stuff, and I just felt like I was just like, I had all this stuff that I wanted to say. Get a channel. It's kind of cool. I don't know.
Donnie used to time me out all the time, but recently he hasn't been.
Really?
I don't know why. So.
He's busy timing other people out, or he's a real interesting person. Sometimes he can be so sappy nice, and sometimes he can be such a shithead.
Well, I try to be I try to be friendly with the mods. So like I say hi to Doki Doki and different ones. So I try to be cool with the mods. So
Doki Doki is always real welcoming to me and just so nice.
yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I'm surprised. Yeah. And it makes you feel good, and immediately that sets up a relationship with that person where I'm willing to listen to them and not, not treat them badly, but
That's exactly what I was thinking. There's nothing wrong with saying hi and hello and hey, I disagree with you. Well, I disagree with you. Okay, well, and hey, you have a good day. You too.
yeah.
That was my one of my final rants in my latest video was saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with having discourse, but it has to be, not this ridiculous stuff. It's a waste of time. We have to have responsible discourse and not yell fake news at everything and all this other nonsense. It's just, man, just getting ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Our stream this morning on Eric Hernandez, we just gotten started. I want to say a lot that I think is substantial, and I want to come up with reasonable arguments against it. But when I end up not doing that, I always feel kind of bad about it, just screaming, oh, they're wrong. Why are they wrong?
Well, all they'd have to do is say something reasonable first, and then we can work with that.
I know we're waiting for something.
Sorry, you were hiding down there in the underneath there. I didn't see you. Sorry about that.
That's what I do. Hi.
Buzz.
Hi. Hello. Yeah, I didn't buzz in the private chat yet. I was just letting y'all chat. I figured you'd see me when you saw me. Congratulations on the 100 subscribers, 112 subscribers. So you got an additional baker's dozen on just for this stream.
Wow. That's
cool.
No,
we did baker's dozen. We need one more. 13 is a baker's dozen.
It is.
Right?
Sweet.
One more. Who out there's got I think I might have a sock that I can subscribe to this channel with.
And we're pulling for you to get to 1,000 too, Bree. I had both my boys and my wife, and I was calling my friends, hey, you got a YouTube? And I was doing all I could for you.
Yeah, we're super close. We're like 955, 950, 954. Yeah. We're getting really close to the 1K. It'll happen. I'm just I'm happy to sit when we did that sub drive thing. I got like 130 new subscribers, so it was really motivating just to see that. I mean, I didn't figure that I thought it was a little too early to expect to get to the 1K, but just doing that little push was it was freaking fun. Yeah, hung out with some cool people. Speed wasn't there. I don't know why.
I was there.
You were there?
I was there. Yeah, I might have been in my chair. I think I said something as Mike Brusnak, but I was there. Oh, and I was trying my damnedest. I think I subscribed with two of my sock accounts. And
I was just teasing you, Speed. I was just teasing you. We've been playing look who's here. Look who's here.
And Scott Duke. Scott Duke is in the chat. Hello, Scott.
Is that the real girl?
Booze, maybe.
That is the real girl.
Oh my God!
That voice from me.
Oh, I thought James Apperson and Gurmania were the same person. James, I thought you were Gur when Gur sobered up.
Hey, Speed, don't insult James like that.
There are so many like Gur substitutes out there on YouTube now that you can sample, but none of them are as good as the original.
I like that. I like the rumor, though. I like people thinking that just maybe if you get James drunk, he gets a personality. Just maybe.
But James has that relaxing voice where he could tell you a bedtime story, and you'd feel like everything was going to be okay.
Yeah, you definitely awesome. Missed your calling as a DJ. You're about one generation out of date, James.
I know. I tried to do it, but
the DJ age.
Yeah, I know. I'm also too late to start a boy band. I've been wanting to do that too.
You'd be out of work by now, though. They're all corporate now.
Yeah, they're working at bowling alleys.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Captain Desk or Dave, what got you into streaming and making a YouTube channel anyway?
Well, I thought about it and thought about it, and so then I was like, you know, I just need to do it. And my wife was encouraging me. She, like Mike was saying, sometimes you just got something to say and you got nobody to tell it to. So I kind of started putting things together. And then, like I was saying earlier, Rebecca and Bread of Life had me on as Atheist of the Month.
Oh.
And so I turned on my phone because I didn't have camera, microphone, or anything like that, you know. So I just turned on my phone and I propped it up and I said, "Hey," and I was online. So I was like, okay, that wasn't so bad, you know. Kind of shook the jitters off a little bit.
I get that. I used to be really nervous when I first started doing streams or going into streams. Yeah.
And then Brian, that I did my first video with, I was chatting with him about miracles. So he said, well, how about we continue the conversation about miracles? And that's my first video.
Ah. And I did see some of your chat with, I think it was Andrew Cumming you had a chat with.
Yep.
He's a smart cookie.
Yeah, he is. I like talking with Andrew too. He explains things well, you know.
Yeah.
He he still uses the proper terminology, but you don't get lost when he's talking like some experts do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be an expert to lose people. I lose people all the time, and I'm not an expert on anything.
All I have to do is
I fell in love with Bree first time I found out she did Bigfoot stuff. So you know.
Yes, I love doing Bigfoot stuff. Yep.
So, what's the appeal for Bigfoot stuff for you, Bree?
Because I used to believe in Bigfoot like big time, like when I was a young
big time
kid, and yeah, I did. I was like, no, this is like a real thing. This is a real animal. It exists. We're gonna find it. By the time I get an adult, I'm an adult. They're gonna find it, and it's obvious because there's so many sightings of it, and it's everywhere. It's all over the U.S. and all over North America and Canada. People seeing it all over all the time. You know, not a week goes by that somebody's not seeing it. We're gonna find it, and it's gonna happen before I grow up. And then I grew up and got to be an adult, and I'm like, huh, they still haven't found it. That's kind of weird. I wonder why they haven't found it. Just keep looking into it. I'm like, well, you know, this isn't all panning out. There's definitely a phenomena there. That's the thing too. My boggle with it is that it's so prevalent, the sightings, and they're so uniform, but they don't seem to coincide with any known animal. So that's interesting to me. I believe that there's a known hominid in the North American forest? Not one bit. I don't. I don't. I wish I could. I want to, but I don't.
The first time I ever actually considered Bigfoot is I've got a friend. He's always into like the paranormal stuff, ghost hauntings, all that stuff. And he started telling me about Bigfoot. And I was like, dude, how long have they been looking for Bigfoot? Like 30 years? And he's like, years. I can't remember exactly.
Seriously, since the Patterson film, basically.
Yeah, the 67 was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got notes on a Bigfoot video too, by the way.
Well, I just remember
there will be a Bigfoot video.
I can't wait.
I remember thinking they've been looking that long and have not found it. That tells me that it's probably not out there. Or maybe somebody is seeing one thing and then labeling it as Bigfoot, and then somebody else sees something else that's not even that thing that the other person saw, and then labeling that as Bigfoot.
Hello, Hillary's emails.
Hello.
Misidentification certainly come into play. Hi, Hillary's emails.
Hi.
Yeah, I started in with Bigfoot because I used. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
I used it as a counter apologist argument. Anytime they would say God did it, I would say no, Bigfoot did it. So that's where it kind of grew from, and now my thing is All Hail Bigfoot. That's also my Gmail. If you want to get a hold of me, it's allhailbigfoot@gmail. And I've got Bigfoot shirts. I've got, if you can see my Sasquatch. Anybody know who Sasquatch is? He does videos. he plays the saxophone dressed up as Bigfoot?
No,
Bree, you
sounds
don't know?
intriguing. No.
Oh, he was even on. He's been on TV and everything a couple times now. Sax Squatch. You got to
Okay, like saxophone. Yeah, I will check it out. Yeah,
he plays a saxophone. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He does. Most of the time, he's out in the woods somewhere. He must live near the woods. He's got his little smoke machine going, and he's got his little karaoke machine going, and he plays the saxophone to different cover tunes.
Sounds like some
neat.
random stuff that I like to watch.
Yeah.
So that's
Sounds
but
like
that's
something
what
I
the
would
Bigfoot.
enjoy.
That's all the Bigfoot stuff. And yeah, my thing with Bigfoot, I always tell everybody, it would have to be supernatural because you can't have breeding populations of huge hominids on every continent except Antarctica. And Ohio, where I live,
Grassman.
I saw an article is like we're the 4th top place for Bigfoot sightings or something. And again, you've got these huge hominids in breeding populations running around in Ohio, and none are roadkill. You know,
not a single one, not a single Bigfoot has ever been hit by a truck or anything crossing the highway.
You know, and even in Harry and the Hendersons, Harry got decked by the car, right? So
he got back up though.
Yeah, he did.
You can't keep Bigfoot down.
You can't keep a Bigfoot down. That's right.
But you say it has to be supernatural. I think it could also be, if you want to say it has to be something, it could also be like transdimensional or extraterrestrial.
Well,
there's a lot of theories out there about what Bigfoot is and its origins. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was one of the things that I heard when you ask why don't they find a Bigfoot body is because when they die, they get beamed up.
What about the Loch Ness monster? I kind of was more intrigued by that than the Bigfoot thing.
So the Loch Ness monster, there's a lot of threads to the origin of the Loch Ness monster, but mainly it starts in 1933 when this couple was driving home from the movies and saw this big thing moving across the lake, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, what is that? It's a monster." The movie they'd actually been coming home from that night was King Kong. Now King Kong is known for being the also not just for featuring a giant gorilla, but also being the first theatrical premiere of the plesiosaur as a prehistoric monster in the conscious mind, right? Because King Kong has a battle with a plesiosaur, or I think the sailors have the battle with the plesiosaur. Regardless, what they saw across the road, something making its way across this, and it's been seen, and it was being seen a few times since then. But since then, it's confirmed. There's photos of them in 2008. We've discovered that seals actually do frequent the lake. They actually visit the lake, and they kind of keep to themselves and stuff. But they come ashore at night and bask on the warm rocks and people in the warm roads. And when headlights hit them when they're basking on the warm roads, seals tend to panic and waller back into the sea. And I think that's what we're seeing.
That's the thing with Loch Ness. It's pretty much a dead lake.
Well,
it's so steep that there isn't a good ecosystem. You know what I mean? You don't have the different. You don't have the shallows for the babies.
Straight down.
Yeah, so there's not a lot that lives there, but the only things that come there are like maybe some larger species that come up from the sea, and then they drop their eggs, and then they just swim back to the sea again. So there's not really anything in there to sustain a large animal to eat either. There's very few fish in there.
Right, there's just turtles all the way down.
I think, the seals I think come in there just to see what's in there. You know, seals are known for that, swimming up different estuaries and into different bays and harbors and creeks and things like that to just because seals are curious animals and are looking to see, hey, if I can find some place where there's some food or a nice basking beach or something like that, you know.
How are seals about people? Like if I'm just if nobody's ever physically hurt them, like if I'm just walking along the beach and I never saw a person before, would they like be cool with me?
They
Pat
bark
me?
at you like a dog. It sounds like a dog. When I was
You'd
in
smell them and hear them
California,
before you saw them.
yeah, when I was in California, I was like, I kept looking around. Where's the big dog at? You know, and it was the seals out there on the little floaties sunning themselves, barking
Right.
at me. Yeah, yeah, they
So,
do.
okay.
They sounds like dogs barking at you.
So if I like had a cabin, cottage, house, whatever, on a beach near where seals live, maybe I sorry, move out there to get away from humans, you know.
They will
And if I leave
calm
my
down
door
and you'll
open,
be able to pet them. Yes,
I'm sorry.
they would
Let me
calm down because they get used to seeing you, and then eventually you'd be able to like lure them in with food and pet them.
let me just clarify that you can't just say seals. That's pinnipeds are a huge group of there's hundreds of species, right, or dozens of species at least of
So that would be
pinnipeds.
silly.
Yeah, it'd be silly.
I mean, I want to say they look alike to me, but I know how racist that is. So
So like a
And Bree
walrus on
knows-
the beach, it's going to act different to you than you know, like a harbor seal or a sea lion would, right? They're
Or a
gonna be
Brett Keane.
Yeah, Brett Keane is okay. A walrus is not related, or not a walrus.
That's a
A
manatee.
walrus is not related to a
See?
manatee. I want to make
That's
that
a
clear because they
manatee,
have that
yes.
similar
I
nose.
forget.
Manatees are actually closely related to elephants. Sorry, I'm sciencing at you guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
you
always do
are.
that.
We love
Oh.
it, Bree.
I dig it.
I think everybody here loves the science, even though Gurr
Okay.
Get me a
sometimes
shovel because I
doesn't
dig
like all of it.
Well, it just depends.
I'm not allowed to
Bricklopedia.
science on Gur's channel.
She's my residential scientist.
yeah,
But yeah, it is funny though, because if someone watches a scary movie about a haunting or a ghost or something, as soon as it's over at night, they start thinking that they see ghosts or they're hearing things. So it sounds like it's very similar to the origins of the Loch Ness Monster. Like power of
Well,
suggestion type
and,
stuff.
and don't forget there was the hoax with the monster on the submarine,
The surgeon
That-
photo, yes.
the surgeon photo. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's that one everybody sees a picture of, and that's a known hoax. So there's always a problem when the best evidence. It's like with the Patterson film, the best evidence, and yet you've got a guy that says, "No, I made the suit," and you've got the guy that says, "I wore the suit." And by the way, he never paid him for wearing the suit.
yeah.
You know, and so that's the problem. And I saw a UFO show. Best evidence they had for a alien crashed spacecraft turned out to be an old tractor water pump propeller. So that's always the problem with these are their best evidences. You know what I mean? It's not. Well, they've got these are ones they hold out. You know.
So now they point to those Pentagon videos when you start talking about UFO evidence, and I don't
Yeah.
think those Pentagon videos say what they think they say. They say what the analysis say is that we can't be sure what exactly this is. Where get some other people that are experts in other fields, especially people that are experts at looking at photographs at night. You start examining photographs in general, you start to see kind of a trend that, hey, this is a bird, this is a helicopter. Why does this UFO flash, or what does this UFO flash its lights in the FFA regulated pattern? Things like that.
Well, camouflage, clearly.
Well, they
What-
gotta
Hey, Dave.
respect our airspace, right? They don't want to get fined.
I
Yeah,
think
go ahead, Mike.
speed is eating the.
My kid wants to walk me, so I got to take off. But anyway, congratulations again. So,
Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you
Okay.
later.
yep, thanks.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories about the UFOs is the New Jersey Lights.
Hmm.
People were convinced, they had video of it and everything. Then it turned out to be a hoax. They
Is
caught the
that like
guys
the
that did
Phoenix
it.
light? familiar.
These kids tied flares to balloons, and they were flying like in a big V formation. And they had all kind of witnesses, and it's to the eyewitness argument. They had plenty of eyewitnesses because it flew over New Jersey. So people had 1,000,001, videos and photos of it and everything, and they were convinced. Look at that! It has to be a UFO. Look how big it is. Of course, the balloons are all strung together. Well, they
So they
caught
were
the
strung
guys.
together, and then they spread out in a big triangle shape.
Right, right.
Oh, that's
So
brilliant.
they caught the guys, and they had to, do their thing, community service or whatever the punishment was for committing the hoax on the city, whatever the misdemeanor is or whatever. But then they took the info back, and they found these people that were in the news reports and everything saying, oh yeah, what, the UFO? And they went back to them, and the majority of them, even though they told them, no, look, they caught the guys, it was a hoax, they still said, oh no, I know what I saw.
Yeah, they just didn't accept that this was a triangle of flares tied to balloons.
Even though they caught the
Yeah.
kids, and you could see the leftover materials from making it in their basement or garage or whatever,
Well, they should have
here
done a
no, it was
reenactment.
a fraud. And then
I
so
wonder
now
if
some
that's all
people
black
did
triangles, if that's what they are. Now she maybe
some people did say, oh, okay, I got duped. They got me. And there were
Mhm.
some. But the worrisome thing about the eyewitness thing is, even though no, it wasn't a UFO, they're still going to stick to, oh yes, it was. I know it was a big spaceship.
So when people talk about do that, I like to say, you know what? I got duped. So there was a night I was sitting out on my patio, right? And all of a sudden I see this light coming up, and then there's another one right behind it, and another one, like way up in the sky in a straight line. And I'm like, what am I freaking seeing? Just this line of lights. It looked like it was like miles long, right? It was crossing the sky, and I'm like, this can't be real. I can't really be seeing this. I'm fumbling with my phone, made the most horrible video on my phone that you've ever seen, and made me realize that, hey, this is what people who see this stuff all the time probably go through, because I was jittery and nervous trying to take it and everything. And went to unlike most people, I fact check what I'm doing before I post and say, oh, I saw a UFO, or go to call the news or anything like that. And I fact checked it and found out it was the Starlink satellite launch. So but for like a full 45 minutes there, I was exciting, trembling mess of a person, all excited to report this, but I had to fact check myself first. That's what everybody should do.
You trust the sources, Bree? You're just a shill.
Yeah, this was Elon Musk trying to trick us about his alien connections, right?
They don't want us to know for some reason.
Yeah, he just launched another batch
Elon.
yesterday or the day before. Yep, he's got another batch going up.
Is he's building something, right? Like his own space station or whatever.
That's what I figure. He's gonna get the heck out of Dodge and leave us all behind.
Mm-hmm. Well, good riddance to him. Good luck out there, Mr. Musk. I think we can do just fine here without you. I think we probably do a little better here without you. Does that mean
you got to give him a little bit of credit for the space stuff, but he's just in it for the money too. So I'm not really sure how much credit I should give him for that. But I try to give the benefit of the doubt, So we'll see. His big rocket is still struggling, isn't it? I don't keep up as much as I used to after the whole after he bought Twitter and all that, and all the shady shit he started doing. I stopped paying attention to what they were doing over there. What's the company now? I can't even. It's slipping my name. What's this space program called? SpaceX.
SpaceX, yeah.
SpaceX, yeah.
I stopped paying attention to what SpaceX was even doing. But they're still contracting, and I still support and appreciate the engineers there at SpaceX. Those are the people doing the real work. So I just hope that their technology gets into the hands of the people and out of the hands of greedy industrialites.
More space companies is a good thing. I've always said it has to, if if it's going to grow, it has to get beyond just a couple governments doing it, or it's never going to expand and grow. You've eventually got to get the private sector in because they want to go up and mine asteroids and everything else. So let them do it.
Yeah.
And then while they're doing it, they're going to want to make a faster spaceship, right? They're going to want to make, a better spaceship and then. So yeah, that would all be a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely going to benefit mankind, right? Well, I mean, we have to commoditize everything because that's the way I'm going to go on a socialist rant here if I don't stop myself. So I'm going to just shut up.
Do it.
I'm going to alienate all of Captive Desk's audience if I do that. No, I won't do that. But if we could put space exploration into the hands of people with legitimate scientific interests, the people who actually want to explore, not people who want to go out there and find money, people who want to understand the universe that we live in. Put this in that again. We have the fact that there's profit to be had in the asteroid belt is gonna send people out there. It's gonna send. I think we'll have machines out there first mining asteroids. That does help Earth a bit because we'll stop strip mining our own planet for resources because we can go elsewhere for them, which is fine. But it's going to turn the market economics upside down when we start pulling home hundreds of tons of gold from space. Right. Which once they get it within range, they can just drop it in the ocean here and send teams down to pick it up. Tons of gold. So what does that do to the economy on this planet?
Oh yeah, I've seen the lists of the gold and the platinum and everything. And, oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, we would be able to think about if we got that gold, how much better we'd be able to wire our planet.
Sure.
Because how much, like with copper, how much copper we have to use? You have to use just a fraction of that to carry the same current with gold without it melting down, right? Just food for thought. We could replace all the copper wiring.
That's one of the things the scrappers get out of electronics is they melt it down. They get the little bits of gold all out of there.
Mm-hmm. Because gold's the best.
But don't do that.
But don't do
that. That's only in those countries where they got no regulations. But yeah, they do it.
Yeah, because when you melt it down, gold's it has a higher melting temperature than everything else, right? So you melt all that down, gold will be the only thing left. But gold also is the best conductor, I think, that we know of, right? It's the best material at conducting electricity.
I've always wondered why gold is considered so valuable. Because, obviously we give things value, whereas it seems like silver would be more valuable because of the practicality of silver.
Well, it's the properties of gold, though, that also add to its value because it's so rare and it's carrying electricity. So since the Industrial Revolution, the use of gold has just skyrocketed because it can do that. What properties of silver were you kind of looking at?
Well, it just seems like with silver, there's a lot of like industrial use you could get with it. It just seems like silver could do a lot more practical stuff as opposed to gold. But
there's a ton of stuff that silver can do, but silver tarnishes and gold doesn't.
Well, that's a fair point.
There you go. Yeah.
This is random, but
yeah, girl, why are you so dumb anyway?
I blame my homeschooling. Deconverted Man says, "Yo, girl, how do you get an elephant into a subway?" And I don't know what the answer is.
I have no idea, Deconverted Man.
Now I'm waiting.
Butter.
Butter.
What do they make out of silver? They do make some stuff, and because we were talking about like chips and stuff with gold. And do they use silver in any electronics?
Yeah.
Let me do a Google search.
There's all kind of metals used, but yeah, it kind of depends on
cobalt.
What the environment and everything is. Yeah.
I used to actually used to work in a automotive factory when I was a teenager, and it was magnesium that they used. That stuff's so flammable. Once it starts burning, it's like a fireworks show. I used
And
to
it's also
steal.
like gold and copper. They're also very malleable.
Mhm.
You can do about anything you want with them too. So that's, you got to take that into account on how well the metals, are going to handle all the bending, and if they
Yeah.
have to move back and forth, if they have, tolerances that they're not going to break if they get rattled and everything else.
What are the qualities? Ductile and malleable.
Yeah.
That they measure metals on. Some of them are better for this and that. Aluminum's really really ductile, which means it can be flattened really easy. Tin is really ductile, but copper's malleable, so it can be strung out, like
Well,
stretched.
another thing, the gold from the asteroids, they might not even want to bring it to Earth because in space, any metal other than gold, this is the reason that they gold plate electronics. In space, there's something called whiskering, and you can just, look it up on Wikipedia, and that will short circuit stuff and cause all kinds of problems. So, realistically, already having those asteroids in orbit and melting them down up there, and then creating whatever might be the best use of them.
So you think like an asteroid belt industry that
Yeah.
ships to the Earth, as opposed to shipping raw materials to Earth and then having the industry there?
Yeah.
Hey,
Or what about shipping the materials to Mars and then having a industry there?
Well, I know the Earth has 5 Lagrange points. I don't know about if Mars has them.
Well, I'm just saying Mars is really close to the asteroid belt, right? I mean, in comparison to Earth, anyway. It's obviously relative how close it is, but
I found here that silver is used for cars, solar technology, electronics, soldering and brazing, engine bearings, medicine, water purification, and of course jewelry, and tableware. So I thought
Yeah,
there'd
because
be more.
well, you want steel to be a bearing because steel's really hard and it's not going to wear down. And if you used something softer like aluminum, it's going to wear down. Your bearing's not going to last very long.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh,
So yeah, that there again, you get what the application is on how what was the word you just used?
ductile or malleable?
Malleable.
No, the other one, how strong it is. Yeah.
durable.
Is that tensile
Tensile strength.
Tensile strength?
Tensile.
I think that means
Anyway,
to
whatever
pull apart.
one they measure, the how hard
Yeah.
it is.
This is the riveting content people are wanting. They're like, hey,
Oh,
we want to hear about tensile strength of metals.
I'm gonna spice it up. Hey, Bree, if you
Yeah?
say watermelon really slowly, it sounds like gullible.
No, it doesn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Bree, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Say watermelon slowly. I want to see if it sounds like gullible.
No, it doesn't. I can tell in my head.
Damn it, y'all are too
How much
smart for me.
how much dirt is there in a hole?
None. So there's a tensile strength chart here on the Wikipedia. Says that, but what is I don't know the measurements for it. So you got like yield strength, ultimate tensile strength, and density. And it's got steel, chromium. I used to plate chromium too once upon a time. That's a nasty process with lots of acids and electricity and to chrome plate something.
And that's also why the synthetic lubricants are better than the natural ones, because at the molecular level, they make them more round. So your lubricant is actually got what would you call microscopic or molecular ball bearings versus the natural oils that are kind of more spiky and they're not. So that's why your synthetic lubricants work so much better in what they're using in a lot of the automobiles and everything and stuff now.
Love my Astroglide.
Hey,
There you go.
Captive Desk.
Yeah, girl.
What does YES spell?
Oh,
YES. What does that spell?
you're just on it, aren't you? What
I've been
what
cooking
weighs
up all
what
day.
weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of rocks?
Wait. First, you got to answer my question.
Gurr needs time to think about that one.
Yeah, Bree's over there like, okay, YES. What does that spell? Okay. Hey, Bree, are you there? I guess
I
not.
think Bree stepped out.
She's thinking, what does YES spell?
What's the joke about that?
Well, Hillary's emails. What does YES spell?
I know that it spells the affirmative. What's the joke?
No, well, no, I'm not. It's not a joke or anything. What does YES spell?
Yes.
Okay, I think we're all on board with that. What does EYES spell?
I.
Eyes.
You're too smart for me. Let me tell you, Deconverted Man asked me that question one time. I was like, yeah, it spells yes. He says, well, what does EYES spell? And I kid you not, I was like, ES? Just totally way over my head. I never felt so dumb in all my life.
Hey, Gurr, you see my thumb?
I see it.
Now I'm going to mix them up.
I see that.
Sorry, I had to step
Yeah,
away
no,
for a minute.
thanks.
I'm back now.
She was spelling yes, is what she was spelling.
I was writing it all down. No.
Got a big equation behind you on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
The
Got my
the
whiteboard out.
You got the whiteboard. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So what was your question, Captive Desk?
About the pounds.
About the weight.
Yeah.
Oh. What weighs more, a pound of rocks or a pound of feathers?
A pound of feathers.
Why?
Because you have to carry around all the weight of what you did to those birds.
Well, that's like if a plane crashes right on the border between the United States and Canada, where do you bury the survivors?
I don't know. Where?
This-
Is there a joke?
Yeah, you normally don't bury survivors.
Oh, shit. Walked right into that one. How many animals did Moses carry aboard the ark?
Yeah, Noah.
Moses.
Yeah, Moses.
I got some gray hairs, girl. You're gonna have to do better than that one.
Okay, hold on. Let me think. Let me summon my thinking abilities. I've got nothing.
How do you spell
I don't know. I would have to speech to text.
No
it.
cheating. How do you spell it? Does anybody know?
I do.
How do you spell it?
It's typically spelled AUM. However, it
There
can
you
also be
go.
spelled OM.
Right. AUM though is the three primal sounds.
Yep.
So it's
Oh.
and that's where you get om from. Did I see Mike just stepped out too soon? I'm showing off my Buddhist knowledge, and he already skated. Mike and I agree a lot on his secular Buddhism views. So
Yeah, Buddhism, I don't know a whole lot about it, mind you. I know there's a lot to learn from it, but it's one of those religions or whatever where it's like, yeah, that sounds good. You know, you're just trying to be at peace with yourself and with others. I know that's a overly simplified way of summarizing it, but I'm like, yeah, that sounds good, I guess. Whereas with a bunch of other religions, it's, you know, do this because my deity says to do this. Oh, here's Deconverted Man. I gotta stop talking about him.
Hey, Deconverted Man.
Deconverted Man here. Sorry.
I screamed myself out earlier, so I'm all out. I can't do it. I killed my voice screaming at that last video.
I heard it.
Yeah, I was trying to be funny. I overdid it. Hey, Gur, what's the second to last letter of the alphabet, Gur?
Second to the last letter of the alphabet. Why?
Because I want to know what's the second to last letter of the
I
alphabet.
see where you go with this.
Are we gonna go who's on first?
I love that. Who's on
Yes.
first? That's my all-time favorite comedy sketch.
Who's on
ever.
first? What is on second? I don't know. It's on third.
Third base. I saw that.
Why
when I
why
was a
wouldn't you
kid.
say the thing I said to say out loud on the thing?
I whispered it to myself, and I was like, "Oh no!
What? Yeah.
Hey, maybe Hillary's emails would like to read it,
Ice
or
bank.
say it out loud, rather."
Ice bank mice elf. It's very
Oh,
simple.
I frequently spank myself. Normally, when
Bad.
yeah, I love it when Gur bends over and spells run. Would you do that for me?
Wait, do what?
Spell the word run.
RUN?
Almost.
Oh no.
I'm getting there. Captain Des, I can't remember if I asked you this. Quick sidebar. When did you start your channel?
About 9 months ago, so it's just given birth, right on time.
Okay, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Let me see. Did you upload a video when you first started?
Gur, I got a riddle for you real quick.
I
was-
hate riddles.
It was in
I
the
cannot do
it was in the
riddles.
spring. I know it was in the spring. So
Okay, this is an easy one. It's just a little barnyard animal riddle. Okay, there are 30 cows in the field and 28 chickens. How many didn't?
Wait, there are how many? What?
There are 30 cows in the field
30
and
counts. in the field.
28 chickens. How many didn't?
How many didn't?
Hmm.
Didn't what?
Are you listening to what I'm asking you?
I'm trying.
Okay, listen. There are 30 cows in the field and 28 chickens. How many didn't?
Oh, okay, I get it. There's a lot of cows ate chickens. I get it. Okay. Whew. That's the quickest I've ever in my life.
That was
been able
actually
to
really
solve a
good. You
riddle.
figured that out quite fast, Gar.
I'm telling you.
I'm guessing Dave already knew the answer because he was up there chuckling about it. Had you heard that one already?
yep.
That's a good one. I like it.
Hmm.
Mostly
used-
just because I figured it out at record score time for me when everyone else would be like, "Oh, I got it off the bat."
I used to be so into those, and one of the Facebook groups would post all those riddles and stuff all the time and everything. And then one day I was just like, I need a break. So I haven't looked at it lately, but yeah, I think one of them frustrated me one day, and I said, okay, I need a break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
riddles have always been this. It's weird, but riddles, they always elude me. Like I never can figure one out. I will look for the most basic riddle of all time, and I will scratch my head for like 10 minutes trying to figure it out.
And some days it just doesn't hit you. You know, it's just it just goes over your head no matter what. You know, it's
Well,
like looking at those images in the 3D things. You know.
Oh yeah,
that never worked for me. You have to like cross your eyes and look at the magic
Yeah.
picture. I'm
Magic
like,
eyes,
this isn't working.
yeah.
This isn't working.
The
I
trick
couldn't
is-
see
you called
magic
it-
eyes either, sweetie. I know what it's. it was
Cross
so
your
annoying.
eyes, look at the thing, and I'm like, I'm doing it. It's not right. It's
I was
this
like
is a
Willem
lie.
from Mallrats, right? I was like, let me
I was
kick it over.
convinced it's like it's a giant troll thing. Like you just pretend that it's there, and like everyone, oh yeah, I see the rabbit or whatever. Yeah, sure, I see it.
That's what they were doing.
When you-
Yeah.
the
No
trick-
one
get to
actually
see the
sees
They
it.
hold
sailboat.
it-
It's not really there. Everyone's
The
just
trick
pretending.
is you bring it directly to your nose and up
No,
to your
none of
eyes,
that
and then you
works.
slowly pull it
No.
away. That's how I could always
I-
make it work.
I was never able to see on myself.
Yeah,
and
I never saw it. I'm convinced that it's just like a
A
thing
troll.
where they pretend like it's just like, oh no, this is a magic picture. And then it says what it is sometimes, usually on the bottom, like it's like a rabbit
Yeah.
or whatever. And like everyone just says, oh yeah, I see the rabbit, because no one wants to admit they can't see it. Like, oh yeah, I saw it too. You know, that's what it is. There is no rabbit. It's no, it's not. It's a lie. It's all a lie.
I can see the number ones that they put out that you see on like social media feeds that pop up. Or like, if you can see this number, I can usually see that number there.
The color test or whatever. Yeah, that I can tell. It's like, if you can't see this, you're colorblind. And it's all with different colors. I'm like, I can read it. You know, all right, okay, that one's real. But if I can't see it, it's not real.
What about you all remember the audio thing that was like it would say Yanni or what was the other one? Yanni or
it's like, what's it saying? And like everyone
arguing about
or
I found what was that website? Just found it lately, but
the moral. That was the other word. Moral.
What was the dress? The dress that was
it was either gold
green or
blue,
gold or something. Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was pink or brown,
gold or blue or black or whatever. It was.
Something like
that. We're gonna argue about that now. I think there was quite a few of them that actually came up. It depends on what the background was and stuff. Yeah.
I found this website, Neil.fun, where there's a lot of little things to waste time on. One of them was like, the internet has decided, and I can't remember which one is that. Spending Bill Gates' money was fun. I got like several airlines before I finally ran out. I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. It's like buying the Mona Lisa, not a problem. Done. Easy.
Hey,
let's settle this. That's what it is. Okay, that's what it is. How to pronounce GIF and the dress is blue and black or white and gold.
GIF for the record. GIF.
No, it's GIF.
No,
it's GIF like the peanut butter.
Or is it GIF? No, it is GIF. I think it's GIF.
Or GIF.
Yeah, it's GIF. Yeah, the internet's decided it's GIF. Like, so you
because it's short for graphics or something. Graphics, something or another.
Graphic.
I like GIF. I will go with GIF until I die.
Graphic image.
I will die on this hill.
Image format. That's why I know that. I don't.
Converted man.
I planted my flag on the hard G, and I don't care.
I had to look up what PNG was because I went to save an image and it offered me PNG, and I was like, "What's PNG?" So I had to Google it.
Oh yeah,
PNG is the new way to save pictures. That's even better.
PNG makes it so you can reserve like transparencies and layers and stuff that you can reserve those. So when you're saving something, save as and you got like a shape to it. It's not just an image on a square. Definitely save as a PNG because then you can open it up and it's transparent and you can put it over anything, over backgrounds and stuff. Sorry, I've been digital art stuff.
I think it stands for Photo New Good.
Hi, Rebecca.
Photo Now Good. Maybe that. Yeah.
It's newer and gooder. Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, maybe she wants. Maybe she wants to
I was thanking you earlier in the stream. If you didn't miss it, you can always back up and take a listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asks like, are hot dogs a sandwich? And apparently, the internet's decided that hot dogs are not a sandwich.
Why not?
I don't know. That's however many votes it was. I like the thing. It's a silly little.
I don't like putting French fries on a sandwich either.
Yeah.
Coffee is fruit juice.
I don't like putting French fries on any sandwich. Do you put them on hot dogs?
No, fries go on the side. Leave them alone. Don't put nothing on.
Right. True.
You put fries on the side.
And
I don't
look
when
fries don't need anything. Fries don't need anything but salt.
When
they come out, awesome.
I got fish and chips, and I was like, "These are French fries. I want chips." You said chips. These are not chips.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they call. No, give me chips now. And
no fries, chips.
Yeah, no fries, chips, fish, and fries.
The deconverted man, I'm going to need you to stop with this culture war nonsense right here now.
Hey, D-Man, read what I said in the side chat.
Let's see.
You gotta read it out loud.
Deconverted man say, I Sofa King Seal E.
Yeah, you are.
I Sofa King Sealy.
Got him.
Yeah, you're so effing silly.
So effing key seal. Oh yeah, whatever. I don't know.
You don't get it. Oh my god.
I'll just say it. You're so effing silly.
So fucking
Suffocating Seal E. Okay, cool. Groovy. I
Damn
don't
it.
care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm all the things. I don't care anymore.
You're all the things.
I'm so jaded. It doesn't matter anymore. Yeah.
Hey,
I
Hillary,
like
Hillary's
the
emails.
absurd
Hillary's emails.
trolley
Do you have a-
problems was just
Do you have a
cool.
channel?
You can't find it.
Hillary's email's still there?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear my name. Yeah,
You got,
I don't
you
have
have
any
a
content on it, just playlists.
oh, okay.
So I was reminded recently of a 6-hour hangout I had done. I was like, oh yeah, that was a short one.
Wow.
This guy, he was just like angry at everything. Like, it was great.
I think it was Amy Newman maybe one night. She was on, and I went to bed and I woke up and she was still on.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much done after an hour, so that's pretty much my limit. So I'm already like worn out now. So I was yelling at that video. I was like, this person's so wrong and stupid. I have to tell them why. Here's how wrong you are, and everything why. Gur, did you see that thing with that younger guy where he ran off at the end?
The one from like a week ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
I thought it was hilarious. He would make a claim, he would ask for evidence or citations.
Yeah,
and
he's
he
like,
wouldn't give it.
we don't.
And then he gave you a blog.
Yeah, he
post
like
as
linked to
evidence.
NASA. He's like, oh, you don't believe NASA? I'm like, that
Oh,
it doesn't support
at
any
least-
of your things. So yeah, I mean,
At least he didn't use one of Gur's videos.
That
Well,
would
he
be
didn't- he
solid
didn't-
evidence.
I mean, he didn't know how to look up a scientific paper. That was concerning. And then I'm like, okay,
Imagine
so I
my
mean,
shock.
once you know, it's like, okay, so you've read the paper, right? Well, no, of course you haven't read the paper. You didn't even know how to access the paper. So, but this is in normal conversations. I could just say 70% of cosmologists believe in whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's not a normal conversation. You make
That's
it good. Welcome to
Right.
the internet where religion comes to die.
Hey, thanks everybody for subscribing during the stream. I'm up to
Related
114.
Ladybug.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, that's
No.
nice. How many did you have before you started streaming today? This one.
Well, I was getting close to 100 yesterday afternoon. So I was kind of hinting around to people, and I put a post up on Facebook that says, "Hey, I'm real close to 100." You know,
Don't let me down.
anybody out there on YouTube tonight? You know, this and that, and so yeah, I dropped a few hints there and there, and then it seemed like, you know, it worked really well, and I got like 20, 25 or 30 of them since yesterday. So
Oh, nice.
and a lot of shout outs too. You know, I mean, you know, when I'm on you guys' channels and you say, give me a shout out and everything, I appreciate it. So yeah,
what is aggravating about subs is you'll gain 3 subs one day and then you'll lose 5 subs the next day, and it's like, what? I haven't even put out anything. What did you get mad about? Yeah, it's weird.
my chart on YouTube is pretty good. It's just slowly been going up,
That's
and I get a little bit of bumps on little steps in it there about every time I put out a video. So.
I'll be right back.
I'm trying to find theists that will talk to me. That's always fun. It's hard to do.
You know, I found that, you know, a lot of the people that would engage back and forth online, as soon as you get a channel and you say, well, hey,
Yeah.
why don't you come on the channel and
Oh
let's,
no, I'm too busy. Yeah.
yeah, there's a million and one, you know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
hey, UC Love, how's it going?
Yeah.
And is it Dennis or is Denise in the chat? Hovind the Denisovan. I guess it'd be Dennis, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
So, what's your next goal?
I got a bunch of notes, and I've also got some people.
Take
One
over
of
the
the
world.
one of the guys on Facebook used to work for Ken Ham,
Mm-hmm.
and he did a stream or a chat with David Neff before, and he said, "Yeah, we can do a little chit chat and stuff." Because I gotta ask him what it's like working for Ken Ham. I'm just dying to know, you know. And yeah, I've got a script for Bigfoot.
Ham?
Not to be confused with his little brother, Littlefoot.
Ham
I have-
seems like he'd be better to work for than Hovind, because Hovind has all
Agreed.
those like dangerous things and it's completely unregulated how he keeps the little compound going or whatever.
And then when the weather breaks, I want to do some science videos. I keep hearing that the rocks that are bent had to be bent when they were mud during the flood, during Noah's flood and the creationist, right? So I'm gonna make up some mud, and I'm gonna make up different kinds of mud, and I'm gonna try to bend it, and we'll see what happens.
I'm pretty sure you can bend mud. Like what?
The different layers that show up bent, that are exposed,
Yeah.
were bent under heat and pressure, and you can see the stress fractures and everything in the rock. But
Yeah.
the creationists like to leave all the little stress fracture parts out, and they take
Yeah.
this cropped photo and they say, "See, this was bent mud
Oh yeah,
from
yeah. Sure.
Noah's flood because all the layers were laid down at once." And
It's
I
like
keep hearing Kent Hovind say it over and over and over, and I said, so I got my notepad out. So I got my notepad here where I write all my
Matt
notes.
is good.
And it's like I'm gonna see if I can bend mud into layers, and we're gonna
the
see what happens.
apologist. The apologist. Oh, sorry.
You got.
Go ahead.
Delayed here.
Are you gonna turn into rocks or? Sorry.
I just want to see if you can get mud that is sloppy wet from a flood to stay in shape. So I'm going to try and bend it and see what happens. And then I'm going to use like some bricks or something on each side to like replicate the everything, whatever around the planet, kind of holding it and squishing it. And I'm going to push the bricks together, and we're going to see
when you're
if it
bending
stays.
mud though. Is that more like water bending or is it earth bending?
I figured I'm going to make a replication of the flood. I'm going to put a bunch of different kind of dirt and some material in there and some gravel in there and I'll mix it up real good. And then I'm going to slosh it back and forth because you got all the huge tidal waves. I'm going by Kent Hovind's story, not what all of them say.
Well, look,
and you got to have the huge tidal waves, and you got to have the fountains from below too. So I'm gonna stick a water jet in the bottom too, and we're gonna shake the crap out of it, and then we're gonna see if we can bend it.
See,
that's the plan.
I keep doing it. Both water benders and earth benders can bend mud because it has water in it, so you're bending the water, and the earth bender is just bending the earth.
It has
like
to
when
be able to
Katara
stay in
fought
shape,
Toph.
though. In some way, it has to be able to stay in shape. For like Bree said, so it would dry out. You know, I mean, I'm not going to wait, 50 years for it to dry out.
I want to talk about Avatar: The
It's got
Last
to at least
Airbender.
stay for at least the afternoon or whatever in the sun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To show that it could actually stay in that position. And then, oh, by the way, I'm going to come along with my watering can because it's going to rain. Because it's still going to rain. So, but yeah, some of his arguments. And what is the other one? The hydrological sorting. So yeah, I got a big pickle jar. I'm going to put all the stuff in and I'm going to shake it up, and we'll see, so a bunch of little Kent Hovind supposed science experiments.
I like
I'm going to actually do them. So
I think that's a
Didn't-
good idea.
Was it him or somebody else that said that like when the water left, it all shot up into the moon, and that's what made all the craters?
yeah, Hovind
What?
also says that
Yeah.
when the comets hit the Earth, they only hit the poles,
Oh.
and they froze mammoths where they stood, because he doesn't understand that. No, that would be fire.
I thought it was interesting. Now this might be a thing to try to get if the next time I talk to a theist, I'll see if I can get them to speak out against flat earthers.
Well, see, that's something I could add to my notes.
Yeah.
Is how high can you actually eject water into the air?
Yeah.
It would probably be like a fire hose, wouldn't it? Or a water cutter, maybe.
Yeah, I mean to be able to get water all the way up into space.
I mean, obviously you can't.
It's
do
a
that,
rocket.
but
Basically, you're shooting a rocket at that.
I'm just wondering who has the highest water fountain, or you know what I mean? How high could you actually squirt water up into the air?
Sounds
I
hot.
might have to look at.
Yes.
Depends how turned on I am. Wait,
I might have to. If I have to look that one up.
I don't know
but
how
yeah,
much it
that's what
is
he-
now, but no.
Yeah, the fountains of the deep. Yeah, Hovind thinks it ejected all the way
That
To the
sounds like a
moon.
Video I watched
outer
last
space.
night.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
I
nothing
mean,
deep.
you know,
It scarred the face of the moon. That's where the craters in the moon come from.
yeah.
yeah.
God was a lot younger back then, so was able to go further.
Yeah. Now he needs that little blue pill just to be able to get to the
Yeah.
firmament.
Hey, all I'm saying is Christians for the past couple thousand years have been saying that Jesus is coming, and the dude's got stamina.
Yeah.
That's all I can conclude.
He keeps thinking baseball. Baseball.
Does that work? Asking for a friend.
I don't know. I heard somebody say that as a joke one time, and it stuck in my head. So
Baseball.
that's what I
Well,
always say. Think
well,
baseball.
look,
Think baseball.
Sure, though, I mean, admit it. If you had holes in your wrists, I mean, don't tell me.
Oh
you
my
wouldn't
god, that is.
be- You wouldn't be trying it at least once.
I mean, I'll give you that. I probably would try it.
Hey,
Probably.
I want to say hi to Maya in the chat, and hey to Pragmatic.
All right, I better
Crystal in the chat.
I'm tired. I'm stupid.
Thanks
All
for
right.
stopping by.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I'll shout you out later, CD. I need to do that. It's for. I'll do it
Hey,
somewhere.
D-Man, when you do
What?
it, do not use imagery
I
from a certain
know. Look, I
dictator.
learned my lesson with trying to unravel who you really were. I learned my lesson hard. No, I won't do that. I don't know. I'll come up with something. I called him Captain Death on my stream. I thought,
Captain Death.
yeah, I thought that was. It's like completely not even the name. It's not Captain. It's not Death, but now it is in my brain.
That's gonna be my superhero name.
Yeah, superhero now. I am Captain Death. All right, you sit. That would make like help us. Who's that? Oh no, it's Captain Death. Run.
Never mind.
No, stay away. But I'm here to help. Yeah. See, he
All right,
stopped the bank robbery, but he also killed everybody in the bank. Yeah.
I appreciate you, deconverted man.
All right, you too, man. See you later, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Later, Tater. Don't. Be
Yeah,
a
I think
hater.
Gur and I were both on his chat that one day when he was talking about the Believer video. So
I think so.
I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and have you done yours yet, Gur?
No, not yet.
You better get on it.
It's
That's all I got to say about that.
it's on my list of mini videos that I.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've got two notebooks. I've got my small notebook where I write things down, and then I got my big notebook where I expand it out. So yeah, I've
Yeah,
got
'cause when you're going from a really religious individual to an atheist, that time period can be really lonely. Obviously not for everyone, but for a lot of people, including myself. Like that's a lonely phase in life, because you think, man, everything I believed was all just nonsense, and you just very very lonely. That's why I hate it when Christians are like, you chose to be an atheist. It's like, no. As a matter of fact, I try my best to get away from being an atheist during that
Well, yeah,
transition.
that's like choosing to be gay. It's like, oh yeah, I wanted to bring all this issues on you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Choosing to
when
be
did you-
trans. It's like, yeah, it's been a picnic. I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
when did you choose to be an idiot, right? Man.
They don't get it. And that's one thing, that's a hill I will die on, is this thought that you can just choose to believe a thing. You can choose to further investigate and look at both sides, but whatever you're convinced of, you have no choice in that matter. As far as I can tell, I would die on this hill. Because there's been I can't remember all who it was, but it's a question that I ask a lot of Christians is, do you think believing in God or disbelieving in God is a choice? And they'll say, most of them will say, yeah, it's a choice. I'm like, so can you choose to believe in Santa Claus? Now, you can claim that you can choose to believe in Santa Claus, but at the end of the day, can you truly pick and choose what you're convinced of and what you're not convinced of? And the answer is no. But again, you can look into things, but whatever way that boat floats, at the end of the day, wherever it goes, you can't control whether you're convinced of a claim or not convinced.
That's what I say. That's where my whole Bigfoot thing came in, and certain believers, it really irritates them when I compare things to Bigfoot. But I always tell everybody, my argument is all supernatural claims are equal in their validity. That's my what do you call it? A syllogism or whatever. Steve McRae would want to syllogism.
You got to add the jism on there.
I have jism. I forgot the jism. Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm a failure. I forgot the jism.
When you're presenting that, you got to remember the jism.
Remember the jism. Okay. But yeah, that's what I say is all supernatural claims are equal in their validity, and that if any of them could be demonstrated, I might go to church.
I wouldn't really call that a syllogism, though. But yeah, it could. You could make it one.
You have to lay out your premises, but yeah,
Right.
Premises.
Yeah, right.
It's a statement, but I wouldn't say it's a syllogism. But again, you can turn it into a syllogism. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't do all the big fancy stuff like Leo and Danny and the rest of them do. I listen to them though. But yeah, so whatever the proper word is for it, that's what I say.
Yeah.
Is that no supernatural claims have been demonstrated. Not a palm reader, not a Bigfoot, not a ghost, not a God. So I'm not picking on the God.
Yeah, you could word it just off the top of my head. If there is good evidence for the supernatural, we would have it. Second, we have no good evidence for the supernatural conclusion. Supernatural is nonsense or something like that. I'd have to think about it.
But any valuable supernatural would remain hidden. We have no evidence of the supernatural, therefore it must be very valuable.
And there's also no rules in the supernatural, because when I was talking with, I think, Hamza or something, he didn't like me saying that there could be two gods. He said, no, there can only be one God. I said, why can't there be two gods? It's the supernatural.
Right.
There's no rules. You've left all the rules, including logic, behind when you left our dimension, our time, our universe, and everything else.
It's funny. I was talking to a pre-supper this a couple months ago on their channel, and they were saying that God can do literally anything. And I said, okay, well, naturally, he can't do something that's illogical. Because I'm not going to say, can God create a rock so heavy that he can't lift it? Because I get that some Christians will say, no, God can do all logical things, but he can't do something that's illogical. And they actually said, well, no, if God wanted to make 2 + 2 = 5, he could do it. And I was like,
Sure.
oh, wow, okay. So yeah,
God-
like you said, it just leaves all reality, throws it right out the window.
Yeah, if you're gonna use all the things that they're applying to the natural world, like dead people don't come back, people don't walk on water and defy physics, you know, all those kind of things, then yeah, you're only left with you got to prove the supernatural, or they're just, you know, again, they're going to get mad at you for calling it nonsense, but it's not demonstrable.
Right.
So I'm open. I tell them, who was it? Somebody was giving me guff, and I said, okay, I'm a dummy. Explain it to me.
Right.
And then again, then they have nothing because it's the supernatural. It's you can make up anything. People can fly. People can live forever. So why can't you make a square circle?
And people can live outside of space and time. It's like, what?
Yep. So they're going to say, well, no, it's illogical to make a square circle. It's illogical for you and I to understand a square circle, but you're talking about God. Why can't God make a square circle? There's no reason God can't make a square circle.
Well, that's pretty much what this person was saying. That,
Yeah,
you know,
there's no rules, then there's no rules. And if there's no rules, then there could be 2 gods, there could be 10 gods, there can be 100 gods, there can be 1,000,000 gods. There's no rules. Well, you have to have one God that's in charge of everything. Why? There's no rules no more. You know, they keep trying to switch back to, you know, natural laws or logic laws or anything.
I just had an
But then-
epiphany. The
But
Trinity,
then it all switches to the supernatural and the rules go out the window. Yeah, go ahead.
the Trinity is a Mexican standoff.
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty good. The Trinity is one of those things where it no matter how many different ways they try to explain it, it just doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
I've heard it explained in so many different ways, and each time I'm like, what? No, that does not add up.
No.
I think the best analogy I heard was it's like water, it can be frozen, it can be gas, and it can be liquid or something like that. But even then, like, it still doesn't add up. Compare, like, when they talk about God.
Okay, but that's modalism, and that's also a heresy.
Well, that's probably what they would say. Well, some of them would. And then you've got the Jesus onlyist, which think that Jesus is Yahweh and Yahweh is Jesus. There's not three. It's not a Trinity. I think it's called
It's just
Unitarianism.
yeah, Jesus is just incarnate.
So
But
basically,
my problem with God incarnate is the wise men knew God incarnate was born, and nobody cared to ask God any questions.
right?
Yeah.
You'd think Mary and Joseph would, keep a journal somewhere. They're raising the Son of God.
Well, remember, like in Mad Magazine, they used to have the sign that says, Gerald Ford tripped here or something like that. I don't know. You might not. Do you remember Mad Magazine, Kurt?
Yes. I never was able to
Yep.
read them. I was not allowed, but I remember them.
But they would have this, the sign, you know what I mean? So-and-so tripped here, Where's the sign that says
I never remember that.
God tripped here? You know what I mean? God slept here. God had dinner here, right? That would be like maybe a sign you would want to put up. You know what I mean? This is where God had dinner.
Yeah,
So-
you think they keep track of that stuff.
So the
You
God
know.
incarnate one kind of falls apart. It doesn't seem like people knew God incarnate was actually walking around. It was just Jesus.
Yeah, and if like the Trinity again, obviously doesn't make any sense. But then, if God really is only one deity and not three minds and all this other crap, then when Jesus was praying in the garden, he was just saying, "Hey God, it's me, God."
Right. He was talking to himself.
It's like no matter how you slice it or dice it, it ends up sounding silly, regardless of it being a Trinity or not a Trinity.
And who wrote about his 40 days in the wilderness by himself?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't ask these questions.
no, they don't like.
Or they'll give you funny looks in Sunday school.
I was thinking about this today, how I would really love to have a conversation with just one Christian who is not batshit crazy or anti-science or a presuppositionalist or just a bigot. Like it's always going to be one of those three, sometimes all of them. And it's like, I'm not saying William Lane Craig or Frank Turek are great, but they're much better than the type of Christians that I encounter on YouTube. Because at least they can explain in a way that's easy to understand, even though it's silly. Whereas a lot of the Christians online that I've engaged had certain interactions with, they're either terrible people or they're really, really dumb.
William Lane Craig will flat out say that he doesn't go up against mainstream science. He won't argue it. If most of the scientists say so, then he says okay. But Frank Turek is always given the Tucker Carlson spin on things. Well, the universe is about 14 billion years old. But there are these guys like Ken Ham that say otherwise.
Yeah,
so he always gives that little, twist there.
I think Frank Turek, when it comes to young Earth creationism, I think that's when he puts on his grifting hat. Because I feel like Frank is smart enough and educated enough to not be anti-science. But anytime the question of young Earth creationism is brought up, he does exactly like you say. Well, a lot of smart Christians believe, that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. But, there's different ways you can interpret the Bible. You can interpret it to mean it's, an uncertain age, which could fit with the scientific narrative, or it could fit in with the young Earth creationist model, instead of him ever taking a hard stance one way or the other. And I think the reason he does that is because he knows probably 90% guessing of his fan base are young Earth creationists, and he doesn't want to piss them off.
Yeah, and he knows too that, like when William Lane Craig said something, there's Ken Ham typing out an article.
Oh yeah, probably, yeah.
That's how I found out who Matt Walsh was.
Oh wow!
Because him and Ken Ham had a little back and forth about that. The only thing I will give Matt Walsh credit for is that he said YEC is nonsense. The only thing I give Pat Robertson from the 700 Club is that he said YEC is nonsense.
Oh, I have heard him say that. Yes.
Yep. So I mean, it's hard to give him credit for anything, but
right. I'll give credit when it's due.
Pat Robertson's been pro marijuana for a long time too.
Oh, I did not know that. Yeah, it's crazy because he is one of those loony type of Christians. God's telling me right now that somebody's watching this that has back pain. Just reach up to the TV. Like he is the loony type of Christian, but he's not anti-science, or he doesn't seem to be as anti-science as other Christians. So it's weird. I mean, it's good though. I appreciate that he's not. And
that's really more of a huckster than a loony. He knows that people are going to send money because, oh yeah, I got healed.
Oh yeah, well that's a good point. Yeah.
That one scammer I saw, just disgusting. He had a woman in tears telling her that God's saying that she's got all these tumors in her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting all, oh my, I'm full of tumors. He's like, yep, you got tumors here and you got tumors there and you got tumors everywhere. But don't worry. Poof, you're healed.
Wow.
I was like, what a disgusting, that has to be one of the most disgusting scams I've ever witnessed.
That's awful.
Making her cry thinking, because she believes this guy really talking to God, and it's entering her head, oh my gosh, I'm full of tumors. But then he says, yeah, and of course, what's she going to do? She's going to go to the doctor, and the doctor is going to say, no, you don't have any tumors in you. It's a miracle.
Right. Yeah.
And she'll probably send him another check.
If you find out who it is, like if the name comes to you, definitely let me know.
I think I saw it on Owen's channel, Telltale.
Oh, okay, yeah. I haven't watched him in a minute. Nothing against him, but yeah, let me look up his channel.
He covers a lot of the Well, it's Sunday night, right? He'll have his show on tonight. He does Sunday nights.
He was it a former Jehovah's Witness or Mormon? I can't remember.
JW, I think.
Jehovah's Witness. Okay, I know it was one of those. Yeah, I think it is Jehovah's Witness.
He had to. Yeah, he basically had to move because things weren't good when he left. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cult.
Because I think he basically like packed up his daughter in the middle of the night and threw everything he had in the trunk of his car and left or something like that. Yeah, it was.
It's like
He had a rough one. But yeah, he covers a lot of the special preachers out there. Kat Kerr and all them.
Oh yeah, Kat Kerr, that lady is freaking bonkers.
You know what she does for a job, don't you?
No.
She writes homeschooling materials.
Oh, that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, she just doesn't walk around and wave her stick around for a living. She writes home. And she did a video thanking God for her new home she bought in a gated community.
Wow. Well, here's the thing. The first time
Wrong field. I went in the wrong field.
I know, right? Sometimes I do wonder, Gur, can you just turn off your conscience for just a few minutes and just grift really, really hard? Because it looks so easy. I'm sure it's harder than it looks, but my God, it looks so easy to grift.
Friend of mine was a little down on his luck between jobs, and you know how it can be. And and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do and everything. And I said, go get yourself an expensive haircut and a manicure. Buy yourself an expensive suit. Plaster that face, that smile on your face, even if you got to scotch tape it behind your ears, and walk around, say Jesus, and put your hand out. You'll be all right.
Yep, you're not lying. Well, when I first discovered Kat Kerr, I immediately thought about my mom, because my mom and dad both actually believe in that stuff. And I remember when I was a kid, they were reading books. It may have even been from Kat Kerr, I don't know, about how God takes people to heaven, and there's a room in heaven where there's arms and legs and digits that God wants to restore to people that ask for it and believe.
And who teaches the angels to fly in heaven, Gur?
I don't know. Do tell.
Superman.
You know what? It makes sense.
Who else would be teaching the angels how to fly?
That's science right there.
Oh yeah, when she tells her stories, it's just, what is it? You can ride on the lava down the volcanoes.
Well, it's like this. If somebody has a near-death experience where their brain screws up and it gives them this vivid hallucination or whatever you want to call it, and they feel convinced of heaven or hell because of that, I understand it. Yeah, okay, you experience something. I don't agree with the interpretation of the experience that your soul or spirit, whatever, came out of your body and you went to an actual physical place. But I can understand that. But when it comes to people like Kat Kerr or Bill Wise, who wrote 23 Minutes in Hell, who did not even have a near-death experience, they just claimed that God took them to the afterlife.
Who's the one that exploited their son for?
I forget the name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think it was. I'm gonna look that up. Let me see here.
Because he had a big tale from heaven, and it was just all the stories that Dad, the preacher, told him every night.
It was something about little boy went to heaven.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's from 2010. Heaven is for real. A little boy's astounding story of his trip to heaven and back.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a movie based on it. And come to find out it's all lies.
He recanted it all. Yep. He said it was just dad's stories was all.
And yet,
of course, I don't think they returned the checks, but
no. And what's crazy is there'll be Christians out there who say, okay, if they're honest, they'll say, okay, yeah, that was wrong. But then some of them won't go that extra step and say, well, they're probably all wrong. They just go, okay, well, sometimes, we live in a sinful nature and the devil's out there. So sometimes he mixes in a bunch of lies with the truth. The truth is, sure, that boy didn't go to heaven, but this other guy whose book I just wrote, he definitely went to heaven. It's like we already see a few cases where the actual person giving the testimony admits it was BS, and yet they don't understand that maybe the next person or the previous person were also full of BS.
And it's a hit or miss too, because most people who have, whatever, cardiac arrest, whatever it might be, they don't report anything.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't happen to everyone.
So it's another hit, picking the hits and ignoring the misses.
Yeah. Confirmation bias. They will say, yep, okay, there's 10 people. 2 of them said they went to heaven. The other 8 didn't say anything, but we're not going to include them. I'll just
don't even mention them.
I'll take the 2 home runs and I'll just completely ignore the 8 strikes.
Yeah.
It's really mind blowing. And
yeah, that's why I like listening to like James Randi and people that when they explain it to you and you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I owe James Randi a lot, and it was really really sad when I heard about him passing away about 2 years ago, give or take.
About that, yeah. Rest in peace, James Randi.
Yes, because when I became an atheist, I still thought, well, maybe there's an afterlife, or maybe there's supernatural, paranormal stuff that happens. But after watching James Randi documentaries and speeches that he gave, it just sealed the deal for me that it's all very, very unlikely. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's all very, very unlikely that your consciousness can leave your body, or you can read minds and all that stuff. It like horoscopes. It's like that stuff is just so there's just no evidence for any of it.
And even if I think Mike Shermer talks about it.
Yeah.
That even if you figure out a way to read people's minds, then we will have figured it out and it'll have a natural explanation.
Right.
It won't be supernatural anymore anyways.
And
if you could figure out how you could be a ghost or, any of these other things, that too would then have a natural explanation and it would no longer be supernatural.
Right. And, one thing I always wanted to ask James Randi, I always thought, man, if I ever got the chance to meet him, my question would be, okay, he was doing that challenge for a couple of decades. If anyone can prove they have, supernatural abilities, he would give them $1 million.
Right.
The question I wanted to ask him was, hey, do you think hypothetically that there'll come a day when someone does have telekinesis, they can move stuff with their mind, and it's not going to be supernatural, but it would be like almost like X-Men, like a mutation that happens and it's the first of its kind, and then there's going to be more that happen over the next couple thousand years, as opposed to billions of years. And would that count? That's something I've always wanted to ask him, and I hated it when I heard that he died. That was actually one of the few times where I was saddened by somebody I don't know, a public figure dying. I was like, damn, that sucks.
Well, he had a long life, So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I go back to before any of the other stuff. I knew him as a magician because I was into magic when I was a kid. So
okay, yeah.
Before any of the other stuff, I just knew that he was a magician. So,
and another thing about him that I really admired is he was like, listen, I have no issues with magicians and people doing tricks and whatnot, because everybody knows, hey, it's just tricks. It's not magic. We just call it magic tricks. But then anytime he would see somebody saying that it wasn't a magic trick, that it truly was magic, that's when he had a problem.
Right.
Like that guy, I can't remember his name. He could like manipulate metal with his mind. I can't remember.
Yuri,
Yeah,
Geller.
Uri Geller, I think.
the spoon bender that we went on Johnny Carson, and he told
Yeah.
Johnny, don't let him touch the spoons first.
And bring your own spoons.
And
I
then
think
he
is what it
couldn't do
was.
it. Yep.
Yeah, and like what I like about
and
that,
give it to Johnny Carson for being in on that one,
Yes.
because
my respect
he-
for Johnny
he-
Carson skyrocketed.
he invited that guy on, and then he gave it to him royally with that setup. That was a good burn.
And the thing is, James Randi and Johnny Carson would not have done that if the dude didn't claim that he had these abilities. Like if he was
Right.
just honest and like, no, it's just showmanship. It's this, I can't really bend metal. If he wasn't being a lying, deceitful prick, then they wouldn't have done that. But because you're claiming to do things that you cannot do, that's when it's an issue.
Did you see the bit there where they made up the magical guru guy in Australia?
I don't think so. No, that sounds
Oh,
interesting.
you have to Google it. Yeah, they just took this guy. I think he's an actor or something, and they made him the great Svengoolie or whatever, right? And he's spouting off all these profound statements that James Randi was writing for him or talking in his ear that meant nothing. You know what I mean? Like, the sky is blue, and he would, put his hands in the air and shake and everything. And James Randi, they put together press releases. They put together a little thing, and everything. But he made it so that it was so easy to debunk that if anybody would have checked, they would have seen it was fake. He didn't try hard, right?
Mhm.
It was the, we're going to fake this, but we're not going to try hard.
Right.
And he
Little
went out
effort.
there and, everybody was feeling it and they're converting. And he said he even felt weird because these people are like,
I bet.
believe in him and everything. And then they, of course, called, oh no, we were just fooling everybody. The news channels, everything we're all duped into it that easily.
And something I've thought about is like if one of us three here went out to a park and just went up to any random person and said, "Hey, God just told me, I feel like God's telling me to tell you that I know you've been struggling, but God has got your back." And if you tell that to 100 people, 100 random strangers you've never met, 99 of the 100 would think, "Oh, wow, that's true. I have been struggling. Maybe God is trying to get my attention. I did pray a couple months back, for God to send me a sign, and this is definitely it." Because it's just so vague and obviously it's so random. Like, why would a random dude come up to me and give me this quote unquote prophecy?
Mm-hmm.
But I know Christians who do that shit, but they do it because they truly think that's what God wants them to do. They don't do it to try to deceive people because they themselves are just duped into it due to their psychology and everyone else that they've taught.
That's one of the things in my notes that I'm going to do a shorty video on. And I've asked people, I was pressing SJ on it a couple times and she won't answer me. But everybody that believes in either religious prophecy or anybody else that thinks they can predict the future, I'm open to right now with my pencil and paper. Let's write something down that happens after today that gives us a what, a where, and a when. And let's see if it happens.
Yeah, that would be good.
Kenny did that prophecy with Pine Creek. We all see how that turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was that? What? Oh, Kenny did that. Oh, yeah. Was it about Pine Creek said that, or Kenny said that Pine Creek would become a Christian or some crap? Or is that something different?
Yeah, that he was going to become like an evangelical minister. I don't remember how it was phrased, but clearly not.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
That's
he
just
tried
sad.
to weasel and just redefine things when the time was up. Well, you're out here talking about Christianity, even though you're, downing it. So that's kind of evangelizing.
Oh, my God. It's just
nonsense.
just sad.
Yeah, that's the thing that the ones that predicted Trump would be reelected when he wasn't, they said, "Oh yeah, he was in God's eyes." Oh, well, there you go. It's what does Sam Harris say? Playing tennis without the net.
Yeah. It's
What
literal
are you
when
gonna
it
do?
happens, and it's metaphorical when it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just ridiculous.
Well, hey, gentlemen, it's about time for dinner here.
All right. Well, good talking
I'm
with you.
gonna wrap this up, and I appreciate you stopping by. And again, thank you, Gur. I appreciate the shout outs and everything, and I appreciate everybody in the community for helping me and giving me advice and tips and support and all that good stuff. Feeling the love, and you too, James Apperson, especially. Good man.
Yeah, I like James. Well, congratulations, Captive Desk. I look forward to seeing where this channel goes, where it goes from here.
All right, thanks a lot, Gur. And hey, everybody, check out Gur. I put his link in the description too.
Thank you for that.
Good stuff. All right, and Hillary's emails. Thanks for stopping by. Good
Thank
hearing
you.
from you. And maybe we can all do this again sometime.
Sounds
fun.
good. All right, I'll
All
see
right.
you.
Okay, guys, have a good one.